27 years old. Guess what? I'm getting married! Yay! Oh, I can't believe it. I'll be a bride next year. I'm so excited. My fiancé John is actually the son of my mom Penny's friend. Believe it or not, this whole marriage came about thanks to my mom and John's mother. They've been really close friends for years through the mom's volleyball team, and apparently our meeting was all part of their master plan. Here's how it supposedly went down during one of their volleyball practices. Honestly, my daughter Paige just shows no sign of getting married anytime soon. I wonder when I'll finally get to see some grandkids. Alright, here comes the ball! Soar! Nice one! Oh, you're Paige too? My son John is the same. He's almost 30 and still hasn't brought home a single girlfriend. Here, take this toss! Oh, wow! Well, in that case, why don't we just set up my Paige with your son? That way our families will be connected and we could have even more fun together. Woohoo! A beautiful receive! That sounds like a fantastic idea. We'd be more than happy to have her. In that case, let's make a plan right away. I'll do my best to drag my son to our next volleyball practice, so you make sure you bring your daughter too. Just like that, our fate was sealed right in the middle of their volleyball match. Of course, we weren't forced into anything, and we were given the final say in the decision, and everything worked out naturally.
If my mother chose you, then I know she made the right choice. Paige, will you marry me?
As far as proposals go, it wasn't exactly romantic, but maybe this is just his way of hiding his embarrassment. After all, this is basically an arranged marriage, so a fiery, passionate confession would have felt a little out of place. Of course, I had no reason to say no. John seemed like a responsible man. He had a stable job, didn't seem the type to fool around with other women or get into gambling. Plus, since my mom and his mother were such close friends, the chances of me dealing with a nightmare mother-in-law were significantly lower. I know some women get married only to find their sweet mother-in-law turns into a tyrant overnight, but John's mom didn't seem like that kind of person. If she were two-faced, my mom wouldn't have been such good friends with her in the first place. Yes, I'd love to! Let's get married! With that, I accepted John's proposal. A year later, on this very day, we finally got married. Oh, I'm so happy. A whole new chapter of my life is about to begin. As I raised my champagne glass high at our wedding reception, I took a moment to savor the pure joy of the moment. But that happiness didn't last very long. Once we started living together, I quickly realized that marriage wasn't at all like I had imagined.
Hey, Paige, didn't I tell you I like my Hamburg steak with a fried egg on top? My mommy always made it that way.
Oh, sorry, I just ran out of eggs today. Would you mind having it without one this time?
Jeez, my mommy would never let that happen. You're so forgetful.
That's right. John turned out to be a total mama's boy. He constantly compared me to his beloved mother, and the moment I fell short in any way, he'd act like he'd caught me committing some terrible crime.
You're folding my t-shirts all wrong. My mom always folded them perfectly, like they were straight from a store. Hey, why isn't there a bath towel ready for me after my shower? My mom always left one in the bathroom for me.
Mommy. Are you a baby or what? It was beyond frustrating, but I had to admit, compared to his mother who had years of experience running a household, I was still a total beginner. I understand how you feel, Paige, but when a couple first gets married, they have to adjust to each other's way of doing things. Give it some time. John will settle down and start respecting your way of doing things too. I went to my mom Penny hoping for some sympathy, but she wasn't entirely on my side. I don't know about that.
She's right. If you're already complaining this early into the marriage, how are you going to handle the long years ahead? Besides, all men are mama's boys to some extent.
What? All men are mama's boys? Even Dad? When I turned to my father, he simply nodded in agreement. Well, whether or not your father's a mama's boy is another story, but there's nothing wrong with John loving his mom. If a man can't cherish his own mother, how could he possibly cherish his wife? Well, I guess that makes sense, but still. Their words seemed logical, yet I couldn't fully accept them. Loving your mother and putting her on a pedestal while belittling your wife were two completely different things. But I couldn't quite find the words to explain that, so in the end I just nodded along in silence. What should I do from here? My days as a newlywed were completely devoid of any romantic bliss. Then one day, I finally reached my breaking point. It happened when John and I were visiting his parents' house. Ever since his mom scolded him, telling him to stop calling her mommy, he'd switched to calling her mom. Sure, mom was better than mommy, but he was still ridiculously attached to her.
Hey, Mom, say something to Paige for me, will ya? She spends money without thinking about the household budget. The other day, she dragged me along to the supermarket, and I nearly had a heart attack when I saw the total at checkout.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I still work full-time, so I can't do the grocery shopping every day. Instead, I buy everything in bulk on the weekends, which naturally makes the total higher. On top of that, John insists on having a variety of dishes for dinner every night. He's incredibly picky about ingredients. Vegetables must be organic and locally grown, and beef has to be A4 grade or higher. With these demands, cutting costs is nearly impossible.
But Mom, you always said that the quality of ingredients makes all the difference in taste. She made sure we had plenty of high-quality dishes every night.
Mom, again with Mom. To make matters worse, when talking to his mother, he now calls her Mom to avoid getting scolded. But when he talks about her to me, he still calls her Mommy. As I sat there fuming, his mother finally put her foot down. John, stop being so demanding.
But...
Listen, Paige just got married. She's still adjusting.
Yeah, but...
No buts! Enough with your unreasonable expectations.
Okay, I got it.
Then his mother sighed and turned to me. But you know, Paige, budgeting is important. I appreciate that you're putting in the effort to cook meals that make my son happy, but you also have to be mindful of the household finances and try to save where you can. Yeah, you're right. If he keeps making unreasonable demands, you don't have to listen to all of them. If you try to accommodate everything he asks for, he'll just end up spending too much money. Well, I guess that's true. I always try to collect as many points as possible when I shop and make sure I'm being as efficient as I can with my purchases. Don't worry, Paige. You'll get the hang of it soon enough. Once you settle into married life, you'll be able to manage even the little savings better. Right. Her words weren't harsh, but as a new wife still feeling inferior to my experienced mother-in-law, even her gentle advice felt strict to me. Still, I could tell that her words were filled with love and concern for me. But just as I was beginning to appreciate her kindness, John smirked triumphantly as if he had just won an argument.
See? Mom thinks so too. You know, Paige, you keep way too much cash in your wallet. That's why you end up spending so much. Mom, how much cash do you usually keep in your wallet? Tell her, so she can use it as a reference.
His mother tilted her head thoroughly. I suppose I spend about $30 in cash per month. $30? I blurted out in shock. She smiled warmly. Is that too little? But if you shop wisely, you'd be surprised how manageable it is to stay within that amount. She said it as if it was the most normal thing in the world. Meanwhile, I caught a dangerous glint in John's eyes. Oh no, I have a really bad feeling about this. This idiot, he's so simple-minded. I just know he's going to... Of course, my bad feeling was spot on. The moment we got back from his parents' house, John turned to me and declared,
Starting today, our household budget is $30 per month.
What? No way! That's impossible! $30 per month meant $1 per day if spread over 30 days. There's no way two adults can survive on 166 yen a day. Even if we ate just 1 cup of instant noodles per day, we'd still go over budget.
A smart wife knows how to make it work. My mommy does it.
There was no way. Even for a seasoned homemaker like my mother-in-law, she was actually managing to run a household on just $30 a month. But the fact remained that she had said it herself. I had no idea what to do. Then how about this? I'll cover groceries and daily expenses with my salary, and your salary can go towards rent and utilities, and whatever's left can go into savings.
No way! If you start using your salary for expenses, you lose all sense of restraint and stop thinking about saving. Your salary is off limits. I'll give you $30 per month, and you'll have to manage with that.
Wait, that's completely impossible! I felt dizzy from the sheer absurdity of what he was saying.
Just so we're clear, just because the budget is $30 doesn't mean you can lower the quality of our meals. I still expect at least 3 side dishes for dinner and soup. All vegetables must be organic and domestically sourced. Also, beef has to be grade A4 or higher.
With just $30 a month, forget A4 grade beef. I wouldn't even be able to dream of buying beef at all. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even be able to afford pork or chicken either. That's ridiculous. I can't manage a budget like that. A household budget of $30 is impossible. The moment I protested, John exploded.
What? Are you saying Mommy lied? That she deliberately set an impossible standard just to make things harder for you?
No, that's not what I meant.
Then that means Mommy really does manage on $30 a month. If you can't do it, that just proves you're a lazy, useless wife.
That's not... Listen! John, your mom probably just keeps $30 in cash, but for actual shopping, she likely...
Enough! No excuses! $30 is plenty for household expenses. If you don't like it, then we'll just get a divorce.
Divorce? I never imagined that a discussion about the household budget would escalate into this. Stunned, I asked him, "Are you serious about divorcing me over this?"
Of course I am. I only married you because Mommy recommended you, so I figured there wouldn't be any problems. But if you can't even do what she does, you're a total failure of a wife!
What? Calling me a failure? Oh, he really had some nerve.
If you don't want a divorce, then handle our household budget with just $30 a month, like my mommy does.
With that, John stomped off to the bedroom, leaving me alone in the living room. I sat there, tears streaming down my face. Since getting married, there hasn't been a single moment of newlywed bliss. Instead, I'd been constantly compared to his mother and looked down upon. And now, on top of all that, he expected me to run a household on $30 a month and had the audacity to call me a failure? No, enough is enough. I decided to get a divorce. But I wasn't just gonna leave quietly. No, I needed to make one thing absolutely clear. I wasn't the defective one here. John was the real failure, the ultimate failure. The king of failures, the world champion of failures, a graduate of Failure University with top honors. I was gonna make sure the truth came to light. The next morning, I left the house early. It was Sunday, so John was still fast asleep when I slipped out, careful not to wake him. Around noon, I called him. "Hello, John."
Paige! Where the hell are you? You didn't even make breakfast! Also, where's my outfit for today? I told you to coordinate my clothes and hang them up every morning. My mommy did that for me!
He immediately started yelling the moment he picked up, but I remained completely calm. "Oh, yeah, your wonderful mommy, right? Your amazing, sweet mommy. Well, funny thing, she actually has something to say to you."
Huh?
"Yeah, she wants to see you right now."
Wait, you mean at her house?
"No, not at all." Then I told him exactly where his mother was waiting. "So hurry up and get here, okay? Oh, and by the way, you'll have to take care of everything yourself this morning. Your outfit, your breakfast, even putting toothpaste on your toothbrush, because I won't be doing any of it. Bye!"
Hey, wait!
Click. I hung up on him. Now all I had to do was wait for him to arrive. About an hour later, John arrived at the gym.
Mom, it's me.
But as soon as he stepped inside, he was greeted by a surprising sight. Us, standing in matching uniforms. By us, I mean me, my mother-in-law, and my mom, Penny. Both my mother-in-law and my mom were dressed in their mom's volleyball team uniforms, each holding a volleyball in one hand.
Huh? Paige? Why are you wearing the same uniform as Mom?
I didn't actually own one, so one of the team moms had lent me a spare. That's not the point! John, how dare you treat Paige so horribly? Wham! She sent a powerful spike straight into the floor, just inches from John's feet.
What?
Acting all high and mighty when you've only just gotten married. Who do you think you are? Thwack! A second ball came flying, this time hitting John square in the chest. $30 for a whole month of expenses? What? Can't you even do basic division? Boom! This time it was Penny's spike aimed right at him. Right after that, my mother-in-law's ball came soaring in too. Wow, neither of them were holding back at all.
Gah!
John could do nothing but flail in panic as volleyballs rained down upon him. He scrambled around the court, desperately trying to dodge the relentless barrage of volleyballs. But my mother-in-law and my mom, Penny, had perfect control, hitting him every time. At this point, it wasn't even volleyball anymore. This was straight-up dodgeball. Now you're saying it was my fault you thought $30 was enough? The $30 I mentioned was just the amount I spent in cash. I pay for almost everything with my card. That's right, my mother-in-law mostly used her credit card for daily purchases, meaning she rarely needed cash. By using her card, she earned reward points and got discounts. She also used mobile payments and prepaid charge systems at stores outside the supermarket, saving even more money with different payment methods. Because of that, she hardly needed cash. Having $30 in her wallet for the month was more than enough. Some months she even had money left over. Just as I thought. So that's what she meant. I mean, if John had actually thought about it for a second, he would have realized that surviving on just $30 a month was impossible. No wonder my mother-in-law had been so shocked when she first heard what I told her. I never imagined my own son could be so ignorant and thoughtless. You completely misunderstood what I said, took it at face value, and then used it as an excuse to force your wife into an absurd level of frugality? Enough of this nonsense! Wham! Another devastating spike from my mother-in-law. If you really think two adults can live on $30 a month, then you should try surviving on $15 yourself. I'll be taking Paige back to her family, so go ahead. See how well you manage on $30 a month. Bam! This time Penny's spike came flying in.
That's impossible!
Oh, but you were the one who tried to make me do the impossible. Here, Paige, take the toss. My mother-in-law set the ball high into the air. I took a running start, jumped, and with everything I had, back attack! The final crushing blow landed right on target.
I'm sorry!
John collapsed onto the floor, completely defeated. If you want a divorce, then fine by me. I have no interest in staying married to a mama's boy who can't even do basic division. Go back to your mommy and live happily ever after.
Wait, hold on. A divorce?
Oh no, that won't do. I can't take care of a son like that either.
Huh? But if I can't go back to my wife or my mom, then where am I supposed to go?
I feel awful for forcing such a pathetic son onto both Paige and Penny. From this day forward, I'm cutting ties with him. So, Penny, would you still be willing to stay friends with me? Of course! I'd be honored!
Wait, what?
You're always welcome here. No matter what happens with your son, you'll always be my dear friend. With that, Penny and my mother-in-law shared a firm, heartfelt handshake. Meanwhile, John was a complete mess, sobbing uncontrollably after being disowned by the mother he adored. A little while later, John and I got divorced. Since our marriage was so short-lived, there was no division of assets or alimony. However, my ex-mother-in-law insisted on giving me a large sum of money as compensation for the trouble. I tried to refuse, but she begged me to take it, saying she couldn't stand the thought of leaving any money behind for John to inherit. So in the end, I gratefully accepted it. Now I'm out on the court chasing after the volleyball. Here you go, Paige! Got it! Nice receive, Paige. Tossing it to you, Mom. Attack! After witnessing my fierce back attack the other day, my ex-mother-in-law and my mom, Penny, scouted me to join their mom's volleyball team. They said they totally fell in love with my spike. Of course, I happily accepted. Even though I divorced John, I still get to stay close with my ex-mother-in-law as teammates. Honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!